Hey, and welcome back to another channeling video. I want to say before we start that there is a playlist with all of the channeling videos. That is, if you go to Lada's channel and click on playlists, you should see a playlist called Channeling with M or Channeling with Emine. And click on that and you'll be able to see all of the past channelings. Apparently not everyone knew that, so it's good to know. You can go back if you feel like you want more or you missed a few, whatever, just have a look. I usually go back there when there's something I want to be reminded of or some guidance that I need more clarity on. I also want to announce that I am doing a live channeling where I can receive your questions. So this is a paid service. So it's $29. And depending on, I'm going to try and do everybody's questions, but depending on how many you are, I might not be able to make it with all of them. It's going to be at least 2 hours. So I'm going to do my best to get to all of you. And it depends on how many are going to be on there. I know it's a minority of us on the channel that are actually following these videos. So yeah, if I don't get to all of you, I'm going to try and do another one. But just keep that in mind. That I cannot guarantee that your question will be answered. But my intention will be that Spirit guides me to whatever needs to be answered and that it will be useful for all of you regardless if it's your question. You know, some people might have the same question. But that option is there, $29, and you will be able to be on the chat with me and I'll be able to interact with you and answer your questions. So the questions for this time. Oh, by the way, thank you for all the birthday wishes. That meant so much. It was really heartwarming, and I gotta say, your questions, you had so many amazing questions. And I wish I could do all of them, but I'm going to do the ones that I felt could be most relevant to most people. So the first question is, what is something we can do that we miss the importance of that would make our experience more positive and enjoyable? And what do we generally do to our detriment? This question is by Paula Villa or Paula Villa. I'm sorry if I messed up your pronunciation. Yeah, so that's a general question about what can we generally do to make our lives more enjoyable and what do we generally do to our detriment? Very good question. The next one is, what's the truth about mental illness? And it's by Maria de Souza. And I think you formulated the question differently, but I wanted to make it more general. Like, what is the truth about mental illness? The next one is, what is ADHD? By Soror VV. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a YouTube name. What is ADHD? This is interesting because I am diagnosed with ADHD. And I was diagnosed just a couple of years ago. It was never detected when I was younger. I did fine in school. I did pretty well at school, actually. So they never really caught it. But yeah, so what is ADHD? The next one is, what do we need to know about the ending of relationships? Now, we spoke about breakups before, and this one I wanted to make more general about breakups, about ending of relationships in general, like friendships or family members. So it's not necessarily just a romantic relationship ending. And this question was by Peace, is their YouTube name. And the next one is it possible to heal without medication? And I didn't write, this was asked in a different way by somebody, so I changed the formulation a little bit to generalize, like, is it possible to heal without medication? And let's start. I want to say that the links for the webinar sign up and any links will be in the description box. And I'm going to try and do the timestamps as well for you guys. So there should be a timestamp thing. And if you want to ask more questions, I welcome it wholeheartedly. You have amazing questions. Okay, let's start. What is something we can do that we miss the importance of that would make our experience more positive and enjoyable? And what do we generally do to our detriment? Laughter is something you do not value enough. Laughter is a great healer. It makes your life lighter. It makes your burdens lighter, and the focus is put on more enjoyable things. You are also missing the importance of children. It is very rewarding to spend time with children and to play with them. Yes, it might be burdensome if you do it too much, as a parent, for example, but it is not the playing that is burdensome, it is the responsibility that comes with it. Spending time with children is something that will be very beneficial for you. Okay, what else? What else do we miss the importance of? Water. Drink more water. What else can we do? Running, particularly outdoors. You will feel so much better if you go running in nature. Journaling. Writing down your thoughts on paper. That will help you organize your thoughts and get clarity on your emotions, and will help you find your truth. Speaking up in your relationships or with family and friends. Speak up when something does not sit right with you. Many of you believe that this will lead to conflict, and so you decide not to speak up. But you can express your truth and your values and your needs and your boundaries without it needing to be a conflict. If you do it without any anger or resentment, but just an expression of your truth, it will not be received as a conflict. And although it may be uncomfortable for some people to hear, it will adjust the relationship into a dynamic that will better fit with your needs and be more fulfilling for you. What else can we do? Cleansing is a energetic cleansing as well. When you take a shower, you are also cleansing your spirit. Immersing yourself in water is cleaning out the negative emotions. Water being emotional in nature, it will be a cleaning of your emotions. When you feel frustrated, take a shower. What else? There are many things that you may consider minor that if you would just do them, they could improve your daily experience. The general issue is that you generally do not realize the importance of the minor things, such as laughter or cleaning up your emotions in the form of a shower or playing with children. You believe that it is not important, and so you miss what is truly important in life. Wow. That thing about running, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. I do not like running. Oh, wow. Oh. Oh, the question was also about what do we do to our detriment what is it that we do to our detriment? What are we doing that we shouldn't be doing? You let your frustrations fester. When you feel negative feelings or you build up frustration from your day, you are too comfortable leaving them as they are. When you feel frustrated over something, you should be prioritizing getting your energy cleared out and coming back to peace. If you feel frustrated over something at work or something that somebody said or whatever may have frustrated you in your day, you need to either do something enjoyable or get back to peace in some way. Having peace in your heart is like clearing the slate, and it allows for good things to come to you. The more you let frustrations fester, and the more you allow them space in your mind, the bigger the problem gets. And so, whenever you feel the frustration, your priority should be to be rid of it. Even if the problem is not solved, your priority should be to clear your mind and get it off of your head and get back to peace. What else do we do to our detriment? You miss the fact that your attention is what creates your experiences. When you choose to put your attention towards things that do not please you, you are choosing that to take up a big part of your experience. Okay. So what should we do instead? You need to clear your energy and your mind and get back to that clean slate. Do not let frustrating things stay on your mind. Okay, what else do we do to our detriment? Not understanding this. I'm seeing shoes. Okay, be more clear with me. What do we do to our detriment? You blame other people for problems or frustrations. Whether something appears to be someone else's fault or not, blaming them will not get you anywhere. It will just magnify the feeling of powerlessness. Know that you have the power to change your experience by what you focus on and what you believe and what you choose to create. If you were to instead say, I am a powerful person and I will not let other people's actions determine my life. And so, with that feeling of being powerful, you will find that regardless of what anyone else is doing, you will achieve your intentions. Even if somebody did you wrong or got in your way, you would still achieve your intention. Do not indulge thoughts and beliefs about powerlessness. Do not blame other people for your experience. You have no control of what other people do, but they can only affect your experience to the extent that you choose to make them powerful in your experience. This does not mean that what other people do does not affect you. It does affect you in your experience, but it is an illusion, and you are creating your results. And in a way, you have created the obstacles, even if the obstacles are in the form of other people getting in your way. The root of this is within you. So do not blame other people. Know that regardless of what other people do, you will achieve your intentions. And when you don't achieve them in the way that you planned, that is usually because God has a better way for you. So do not be too hung up with how you want things to play out. That usually doesn't happen. Leave a little space for God to do it in the way that is best for you. Interesting. I'm going to have to listen back to this. Some of that went a bit over my head. Okay, next one. What is the truth about mental illness? Mental illness is primarily mental disorder in the sense that your thoughts are not in order. Your thinking habits have become problematic and creates obstacles for you. It is a lack of organized thinking. Usually, it is that the mind has had free rein to think thoughts without any conscious redirection or involvement. You do have to take control over your thoughts and consciously direct them in a constructive way. When you do not do this, it can lead to mental illness under some circumstances. Okay, but what about the emotional aspect of it? I thought it was mostly emotional. What about the emotional aspect of it? It is the emotions that are directing the automatic thoughts. And so when there is emotional pain, this creates negative or unhelpful thinking. Keep in mind that your thoughts are quite automatic in the sense that you don't usually control what plays out in your head. It takes some conscious effort to control your thoughts. Your thoughts are influenced by how you are feeling. Okay, so what is the... I mean, it was a general question, but how can we improve mental illness or mental health? What can we do? The key is in your emotions, but it is also very important to learn to take power over your thoughts and organize your thoughts into constructive thinking patterns. Thoughts that are helpful rather than thoughts that bring you down. What about the emotional aspect? How do we improve that? It is important to really pay attention to why you are not feeling well, rather than allowing your thoughts to run amok. You should try to listen to what you are truly feeling and what it was that hurt you and what thoughts bring you pain. Once you understand what you are feeling and why, you can then organize your thoughts in a way that it empowers you rather than brings you down. I'm not sure this really gives enough. I find that like Spirit gives very like concise information that if you're not paying attention, you can you can just miss the whole point. I'm gonna leave it at that for that question. I think it's a deeper subject. Maybe I should have been more specific in my question rather than so general. Next question is, what is ADHD? It is an overactive mind Okay, so what's the cause of it? Why does that happen? It starts in childhood or adolescence. It is usually caused by disconnecting from your emotions, which leads to an overactive mind. Okay, but why the disconnecting of the emotions? If the child's or the adolescent's circumstances are such that they are emotionally overwhelmed or struggle to understand the emotional implications of their surroundings, it will lead to an overactive mind. Does it mean, because I've heard that ADHD is a symptom of trauma or a trauma response? Is that the case? Is that what you're saying with the emotional, cutting off emotionally? Is that because something happened or? Yes, it is because something that happened or multiple things happening in the environment of the child or adolescent. And so to get through that, the child or adolescent disconnects their emotions to some extent and become more mentally focused. Okay, does that mean there is a cure? Does that mean it can be healed? Reconnecting with the emotions will lessen the symptoms. With ADHD, there is a tendency to disconnect from the emotions, which leads to an overactive mind and scattered thinking. Okay, can you give me more on that? Because the emotions are cut off, the inner wisdom is blocked in their day-to-day life. They are less connected with who they are and how they are feeling. And it leads to inner confusion as to the direction of their focus. I'm getting like they're showing me the experience and I just feel totally scattered and I can't, it makes you feel lost and like confused. That is crazy. That was when they showed me that, is like I can't. Oh, okay. So what can people do that have this issue? They need to center themselves and put more focus inwards and feel what they are feeling and prioritize. They need direction. And so when they connect with their feelings, they will know what direction to move. This one really made me unbalanced. I don't know what to ask about this. Okay, can you give me some general guidance on ADHD without confusing my mind in a way that is just clear, without putting the experience into my energy? Can you just give me some guidance on that? They need direction. They need clarity. They need to know what direction they're moving in. Okay, how do they get that? By looking at their priorities and deciding about their priorities. What else can they do? They need to stick to those priorities and not be distracted by external noise. Oh, that's awesome, because that's what I've been doing and that's been helping me. Wow. Priorities. Knowing what to focus on and like having to like shut off everything else. That's what I've been doing. That really does work. Wow. Interesting. If you have ADHD and this gave you something, please write a comment. Like if this corresponds to your experience in some way. I do want to say that I feel like most of these questions could like get so much more depth, and I wish I could get into more depth in these sessions. So I have to choose between like getting deeper information or having more questions answered. So I hope you understand that for most of these, there's more to it. It's not just about what comes out, but Spirit tends to give like a more overall, general, like to the point kind of answer, but there's always more depth that we could get to help us understand better. Next question is, what do we need to know about the ending of relationships? This one is a sweet one because it's, you know, even when friendships end, it's quite, it's sad, you know? What do we need to know about the ending of relationships? Yes, it is sad. Okay, we know that. What else? What is it that we're not seeing about the ending of relationships? What you are not seeing is that just like the relationship itself, the ending of it has a purpose. Sometimes the purpose is to remove obstacles to some growth that is needed for you, for your benefit. Some relationships may hinder you from growing in the direction that you are ready to grow in. Sometimes you are loyal to people that keep you stagnant or prevent your growth. If you are too loyal to some friendships, for example, then the friendship might end in a way that is out of your control when it's time for you to grow in the direction that this friendship would have prevented. What else do we need to know about breakups or like ending of relationships? It is always in order to bring you more opportunities or bring you new experiences. That is always the case, to bring in something more. So while you are mourning the ending of a relationship, you are usually missing all of the good things that are coming in as a result of this. You are still getting the new experiences, but you are forgetting that it's because of the ending of that relationship that this was made possible. What else do we need to know? It is okay to mourn a relationship that you knew had outplayed its purpose for you. The good things that you experienced in this relationship are still available to you in other ways or will come into you in other ways. It is often the case that one relationship that provided something for you, such as, for example, comfort or support, that comfort or support will come in new ways through other avenues for you. Sometimes the ending of a relationship is to make you realize how self-sufficient you really are and how you are not dependent on other people. Sometimes you needed a push to discover this. What else? It is more often than not the case that this person still cares about you the same, but for whatever reason, things happened that ended the relationship. However, even if they are angry or upset with you, the care and love is usually still there. So, you haven't really lost anything. It's just that they're not willing to express that love for you right now. But they still feel it. So you haven't lost anything. We have another channeling on this about relationship breakups. And in that one, they said that the relationship will change form in the way when it's not growing anymore, or the it's played out its benefits to you, then the relationship will change form in order to allow for other benefits or other blessings. Which is funny because after we did that, my relationship with my then boyfriend ended, and I had to go back to that one to listen and get some guidance. So it was kind of like a sign when that happened. So I'm thinking if this is a sign that some other relationship will be ending. I don't know. But it's been very helpful for me to go back to that channeling when it happened for me. Okay, anything more on that? Life or God will always change your circumstances in such a way that it will help your growth and help your development. And there is a constant growth happening for you. It is never random, even if things appear to be random or a mistake. Trust that there is a purpose behind it, even if it happened in a painful way. When things happen in a painful way, that is usually an indication that you were so stubborn about not receiving some blessings that it had to come by force. If you were stubbornly holding on to a relationship that would have given you more blessings if it ended, then it will end anyway in a way that will feel more painful to you, but it will still be for your benefit. Okay, what else? Trust that you are not alone. There is love for you. Things change as they need to in order to give you most out of life. What about the pain, though? What about the pain of it? Usually, the pain, regardless of how deep it is, will be less than it would have been if you had not accepted the change. Know that even if it is painful, it is what is better for you. Trust that. Is there something we've completely missed when it comes to ending of relationships? I'm led to another question that was asked about, like, can we end relationships without having to inform people about it, or like, do we have to explain why or whatever? I'm being reminded of that. So I think that one needed to come up. Okay, so do we have to explain to people if we need to end a relationship, or do we? You do not have to. It is usually mutual. When you feel that a relationship is no longer constructive or aligned with your well-being or growth, it is usually the case that the other party also feels a dissatisfaction, even if they do not express this to you. What about like one-sided relationships? Like one person is happy and the other one is not. What about that? If that's the case and one person is happy with the relationship and getting all the benefits and the other person is not, then it will be to the benefit of the one receiving the benefits to have that relationship ending, because they would be depending too much on somebody else for the good things in life that they want. And they would need to learn to be more self-sufficient in the sense that they need to give themselves that which they want. Okay, but we do need relationships. Like we do need relationships, don't we? Like people need people, don't they? Yes, you are social by nature. You are naturally designed to be sociable, but you do not ever really need anybody else. It is just natural for you to be around other people. So what about loneliness? Like, what about, I mean, the most detrimental thing to our health is loneliness, isn't it? Yes, because it goes against your nature. You need other people. You are not depending on them for any of your needs apart from their company. just relationships in themselves are necessary to you, but you are not dependent on any particular person and not for any of your needs. Oh, okay. I hope that makes sense. It made sense to me. Okay. Last one is it possible to heal without medication? And that will be the last question. Is it possible to heal without medication? Absolutely. And I'm seeing herbs, flowers, herbal remedies and flowers can help in both the healing of serious or chronic medical issues, but also with maintaining optimal health. Medication is generally, not always, but generally more of symptom management in the sense that the symptoms of an illness will be dealt with so that you feel no discomfort, but they usually cannot address the root cause. And so, while they make your life more manageable, they cannot prevent this illness from sticking around in the long term. Okay, so what will get to the root of health issues? One major factor is stagnant emotions, suppressed emotions that are not let go of. This is where herbs and flowers can really help. But also expressing your feelings would also help in the sense of talking to people you trust, crying, and dancing, as dancing is an emotional expression. What else can we do to heal? Some people are very attached to their medical condition and will be reluctant to truly heal. You have to respect this fact. Not everyone who goes to the doctor wants to heal. And so they will see no major results, and they will be content with this, or their attachment to the illness is stronger than their desire to heal. So sometimes when people complain about a medical issue, they may also be attached to the medical issue, and so you may not be able to help them because they are keeping themselves in that position. The reason why people may do this is because the attention and love that they get from it may be something that they feel they cannot get any other way. Do not judge them for this. It is a very human need to need love. And if the only way they can receive it is in the form of attention, Let them have it. They may not be able to receive love in any other way. They may be so reluctant to accept love that attention is the only form that they will be able to receive. That is okay. Okay, so how do we, if someone wants to heal but is not able to, what can you do then? What do we do? With chronic or long-term health issues, it may be the case that the adjustment necessary is so foreign or far from how the person normally operates that they will need a longer time to discover what they need to change. It is usually the case with chronic illness that the person has patterns that are harmful to them that they are not aware of, and it takes them time to discover this and to learn healthier patterns. If the illness is serious, then the change needs to be more radical. And this is usually not very natural to you, and so it may take time. But herbs and flowers will make the process much more smooth and it is a good way of maintaining health. To answer the question, yes, you can heal without medication, but considering how ingrained the idea of medication is in your society, most of you would not believe in the healing effects that are possible outside of it. And so, for most of you, being in contact with a doctor or having access to medications would be more aligned with your belief systems and be a better or helpful way for you to reach healing, even if it's not necessarily the medications itself, but rather your belief and faith in this process. Because while you are in the process of going to the doctor and getting the recommended medications, you are also going through the inner shift which is required to change your patterns. And so if the inner shift happens as a result of you aligning with your belief in your doctor, then that is the best way for you. But if your belief allows for herbal remedies and flower remedies, if your belief allows for that, then that will be a smoother path, an easier path with less suffering. But do respect the fact that for many people, this does not align with their beliefs, and so it may be best for them to go to the doctor. Of course, it changes from case to case and depending on what the health issue is. But generally, those that are more open to herbal remedies will have a greater openness to healing. However, you need to make this decision yourself because your beliefs are that important. That one was a hard one because, like, on the one hand, it's saying herbs are really helpful, herbs and flowers, and on the other hand, that the medical contact would be very helpful to some people. And I do want to make this disclaimer that this is not medical advice. Consider this just for entertainment purposes. Do not make your own decisions. This is not in any way like an encouragement of anything, you know? Just do what is right for you. You make that decision. I do not take responsibility for what you do in terms of your health. Which I think for most people viewing this it goes without saying, but you know, there's always one or two people that are like, well, you said this and now no, you make that decision for yourself. Okay. I hope that was helpful and I hope that aligned with your healing. And if you want to join the live webinar with the live channeling where you can ask your questions, then there should be a link in the description box. Do keep in mind, I cannot guarantee that every question will get an answer. I cannot guarantee that your question will be answered. It kind of depends on how many people join, but I will do my best, and it will be at least 2 hours. So I will do my best to answer as many questions as possible. And personal questions will be okay because it won't be public. This won't be broadcast. It will just be for those who are joining. Thank you. Bye.